How are you, right?
Good, brother. Good. Thank you for joining me. So we said
No,
something
man.
about pumpkin, I believe, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, I'd like to use pumpkin. It looks like the easiest one to use, and you ain't got to pay like a massive fee up front as well, isn't it? Like Kenis, like you do have it with Kinesis and whatever. So yeah, I wanted to try and use that one to start with. Pumpkin.
Okay. So have you did any launches whatsoever, or this is your first bundler like full heartedly?
Yeah, no, I tried doing a launch ages ago, but I had no clue what I was doing, so it completely flopped. But it, in the whole crypto space, obviously, I was that guy aping into meme coins, getting drugged, like etc. etc. I only
Yeah.
found out maybe like a few months ago that people were using bundlers, and
Oh,
I
really?
literally had no clue. I swear to you, I literally had no clue that coins were being bundled, and then I found out that I thought, okay, maybe try and jump
Wow.
into this game myself. Yeah, I had no clue,
Okay.
literally.
I'm gonna share my screen with you,
Yeah,
brother, so you can
go
see me.
for it.
Hold on. Start virtual. Hold on, real quick. Pump one. Okay. No, not that one. Let me give you 1 second. Where am I at? Hold on, let me find my camera. There we go.
No,
Main
no worries,
split.
man.
All right, main splits. Go.
I zoom into that.
Bam.
Possible.
There we go. All right. So, what I want to do first of all, before we get into any bundlers, is I want to kind of go over some of the things that I know for a fact you've got to have seen before, and I want you to
Hmm.
know this because it's going to help you further along with your bundling career because the math of everything is going to add up a lot quicker, I think, for you because it took me a while to get this right. So, for example,
Okay.
have you ever seen a P&L card? No matter whose bundler it is, any bundler, but it'll say, for example, like 20 sold, 30 sold, 40 sold vested with maybe initial with the profit of maybe 5, 6, 7, maybe 12 sold, something like that. But usually it's a high 20, 30, 40 amount, right?
Yeah, I think I've seen a few. I think I'm in the Genesis one as well on
Yeah,
Discord. So I've seen a
there you
few of
go.
theirs. Yeah.
So
I
this
think
is the
there's
thing.
a few on yours as well. But yeah.
Right. Now, this is the thing. It's very important for me to break this down to you because if you're coming from a trader aspect, you're thinking to yourself, well, these fuckers, like, they got like, 12, 14, 30 wallets. They're loading one soul each. They're letting their shit ride,
Yeah.
green candles. They're putting literally 30, 40 soul in a live CA investment at the same time and then getting bids this way to be able to profit. And that's what a trader kind of like thinks of it when they're seeing, these P&L cards. But when I explain this to you, it's going to make so more sense, and hopefully a light bulb opens up in a second because that exactly is not what happens. I'll tell you what happens
Okay.
actually. You know what? I'll do this. I'm gonna open up a whiteboard, it's like a draw, and then I can go over some stuff with you first before we jump into the actual bundler. That way you have a full on game plan on what to expect, right? Free
Appreciate it.
chalk. Yeah, for sure. Free chalkboard. Okay, let me use which one I'll use. Chalk images, free download. We use this one. Hold on, actually no. Free chalkboard online. Second online. Okay. Here we go. Found it. Okay, so let me patch you through on that. 1 second. Free window to digital chalkboard. Okay, you should see it in 2 seconds. You see it now?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, let me start drawing. Okay, so first thing first, we want to go over these things. Two things. Are you familiar? First of all, are you familiar with block 0 and block 1? Do you know what that means?
Yeah. So block zero is obviously when the dev buys, isn't it?
Yeah, block
Am I
0
correct?
is where the dev buys. Also, it's where he can technically get like 3 to 4 other wallets in there without being detected. Right. So
Okay.
that's block 0. Block 1 is where basically retail is. Right, where all the snipers and
Hmm.
traders are. So let's go into this. So first thing first, block 0. Block 0 is theoretically how most of the money is going to be potentially made because what's happening is obviously no one can buy these, but we want to essentially come into the contract in a way where it looks organic and not too bullish. Like it doesn't look like you're buying up too much, right? So that's why a lot of people say 3 soul or 3 to 4 soul, but probably under 3 soul to be honest with you, is probably the max you want to stuff into his block 0. You can do more. Like, don't get me wrong, on pump kit you could do like 12 soul if you wanted to, but no one's gonna really buy that because they already see that there's like 20, 30, 40% sniped. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
3 soul comes in. Now this 3 soul comes in. It could be either one dev wallet. It could be 3 to 4, other wallets combined with a dev wallet. But depending on the narrative, I'll say other wallets. But depending on the narrative, depends on if the dev will fly out first or not. Now, yeah, I was just talking to a gentleman just recently in my 101 right before you, and his current market cap on his token is like around 233,000, 240,000 market cap. And he kept his dev in. Like, the reason why we actually had a call actually is because he wanted to figure out how to essentially, when you have a project that's literally up that 230, 250 range. However, he was having issues when it comes to bubble maps. Like, people were looking at bubble maps and it looks like a complete mess. And so that particular call, we were going over different ways to essentially fix bubble maps live, while basically having to undo things live so that way you can attract more buyers. But before we get into that stuff, because that we'll get into that later in this call, I want to get into these P&L cards because I want them to make sense to you so that way moving forward in bundling, you have an understanding of what's happening. So like we mentioned, 3 soul happens there. That's already 3 soul investment. Now, the block 1, this is where we consider, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of, volume bots, right? Volume, right? This is where if you don't bring in volume, you're not going to bring in pretty much anything, So volume. Now, this is the key word. Volume is going to essentially create on the P&Ls invested. So let me give you an example, right? Let's say we have 10 wallets, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put 10 little circles here. That's 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. Okay, 10 wallets. So with these 10 wallets, all right, the volume it's gonna happen on 1, and if each wallet has, let's say hypothetically 1 soul per wallet, that's 10 soul, right? 10 soul right there, right? So we just invested 3. That's 10 soul that's in the contract. Now with volume, they usually 9 times out of 10 go out quick. So meaning that if I come in with 1, I'm going to leave with 1 just as fast as I came in with it, because all I'm doing is supplying further volume to the contract. And the reason why I'm providing volume is to, 1, attract real buyers, right? And 2, I mean, before, by the way, before Pump Fund gave the King of the Hill thing away, it used to be where when you buy these contracts, which still this day actually, when you buy something from the contract, if it's not already on Pump Swap, it's going to show up on the top of Pump Fund as like a particular, like a bump. It bumps it to the top. You see what I'm saying? So
I remember that as well, King of the Hill.
They still do it. They just don't do King of the Hill. They just do bumps. The bumps essentially show up on the front page as new trendings on Pump, but yeah, King of the Hill is pretty much dead. But with that being said, the reason why I bring that to your attention is because if we have 10 wallets there, and I come in with 10, and then I leave with 10, and then the next 4 seconds later, I do the exact same thing, my P&L card is theoretically going to show up as 40, 30, 20, 70 sold, depending on how much volume I'm coming in here. You see what I'm saying? See, the app is reading the volume as if it's a stick play, but it's not. Do you understand that?
Okay. Yeah.
You see how this is all working?
So it's still only 10 sold then, basically, but it looks like
it's not even 10 sold. It's 3. It's 3. Okay. The block 0. Now, theoretically, what's happening is this: your volume, yes, your volume can collectively over time get small pieces of supply. Because think about it: if you're doing it in a way where you do 1 sold or maybe 0.5 to 1 sold volume, and if you're doing like 95 to 90% sellouts, then theoretically 5 to 10% of that is still left in the wallet. And if someone buys into that, that makes that percentage of whatever's left into that volume higher, right? So you're literally kind of taking supply secretly in a sense, right? Now, this is where it becomes interesting. Some of these bundlers, right? Let me go back to my my video here. Some of these bundlers, they have essentially a few different mechanisms. Now, like one, for example, Pump Kit. They'll have Well, before we talked about, I talked to Ro, which he made the change. It was basically buy, delay intervals. However, there was no sell. The sell had to be done manually, meaning that once the actual volume started to hit the charts, you literally would have a wallets, consider call them wallets, like call them volume wallets, right? And then as soon as you see them hitting the charts, you would just go 100, 100, 100, 100, and selling out, 100, 100. Because theoretically, all it's doing is adding more volume, and all you do is selling out manually, right? Now, there's a pros and cons to this. Pros of this is that, yes, you are adequately providing volume to the contract. Cons of it is that if you're coming in with, one, like, for example, 0.75, and then 2 seconds later you leave for 0.75, that looks super botistic compared to a bot that's a real natural volume bot that comes in with 0.75, leaves with 0.62, leaves that 0.12 in there. You see what I'm saying? And then continues that process. It's a lot harder to, even from the human eye, to make it look like it's fake. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different intervals, right? And with these bundler bots, most of them, a good chunk of them, and what I'm going to do today is show you the ones that do and the ones that don't. So at the end of the day, you have a full understanding on what does and what doesn't for you, right? But what a lot of them do is they supply you with buys, and you have to manually exit out. So since you have to manually exit out, there's essentially 3 to 4 different things that show up on these quick trades. Matter of fact, I'll show you one right now. If we go to project, let me open up my thing here again. So if we go to projects here, and this is CoinWave, by the way, and as you can see, like right here, it's kind of dark here, but these are 0.1, 0.5, 1, 2. These are intervals that can actually change, but there's literally 4 different things. Yeah, it's kind of similar to most bundlers, right? Now, where it becomes bad, and by the way, with Pumpkit, it does not do this because Pumpkit's a little different. Hold on one second. I'm getting a phone call from Mom's. Let me tell her I'm on a call. 1 second.
Yeah, go on, man.
Hey, Mom, I'm going to call you right back. I'm on a call. Okay, I'll call you right back. All right. 1 second. Let me just put my phone on the charger. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries, man. Go on.
Okay, so what I was saying was, each and every bundler besides Pumpkit, and we'll go over Pumpkit in a second, has like these 4 NAVs, whether it be buy or sell. Now, theoretically, you can go into settings, customize, or any type of bundler has customized values, basically. And you can set them up forever, but theoretically, you're manually still having to come in with a volume bot that's automatically set up for you. However, the sell point is not. So every sell point that leaves from that, it will be a specific value, which is very highly tracked. Like if you can see someone selling always for 0.5, it's just like, whoa, like, come on, man. Like it's a volume bot, rather than this is actual real volume. So, you see what I'm saying? So
yeah, I got you, man.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, now that you have that understanding, let me go back to that. So what we talked about is the P&L card now shows hypothetically 40 SOL invested, but in reality, these are really just trying to bring in bids because they're coming in and out just as fast. So when the buyers come and see this, and let's just say hypothetically was red one. This guy red, this is a real buyer. So these real buyers are looking at the contract. Let's say like 4 guys here, right? 4 real buyers. And next thing they know it, they like what they see. We'll go over all the mechanics of that because that's a whole other story. But they like what they see, and they start to bid. 1 buy here, 1 buy here, 1 buy here, 1 buy here. That's 1 SOL, 1 SOL. He ate 2 SOL. He ate with 3. So that's altogether 7 SOL. 7 SOL activity in the contract now. What happens with these 3 SOL buys that came in from the very beginning because they came in at 2,000-3,000 market cap is you ultimately just doubled your money here. Now it's worth 6 SOL rather than 3. So what happens is these guys will go ahead and sell that X2 off of that block 0. But even though their P&L card, however, when they print that thing, will say 35 invested and for profit, in reality, the mechanics of it is that the bundler is reading the volume. You see her coming here?
Yeah, I used to see those and I thought to myself, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to break it down. So I gotta break your mind into a bundler world, brother.
They've invested like 45 SOL and they've only made like 2 or 3 sometimes. I'm thinking to myself, wait, what's going on here? Like,
exactly. I have to break this down to you because this is really sauce and alpha. This is what you don't go out there thinking like a trader. A lot of people that come in with the bundle world, they start thinking like traders and they actually start using the fucking SOL. They actually start putting 30, 40 SOL. Guess what happens? They get front ran. That's
what I was thinking. I was thinking, right, I have to put in like that sort of money, like 30, 40 SOL. So I was thinking, right, like.
Yeah, man, you guys, you're giving a free service for snipers, But reality, you're chilling on block
Okay.
one, just throwing a shitload of volume measured automatically. So of course the P&L is going to read every buy that comes in as if it was a prayer, but really it's a machine. You see that?
Okay.
I know it's like a lot on the screen right now, but I think hopefully it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that in the worst case, I can go over it as well. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So now that you have
So,
that understanding and you know theoretically, now when you see these P&L cards, especially from the bundlers, you're dealing with guys that are really putting like 4 soul in only. But because of the bundler and the amount of velocity you're coming in and out with that motherfucker, it's continuing to read the volumes as actual buys. And so now that you understand that, it'll help you leverage you in the long run. So that way you don't continue to use these block ones as actually real units. Because what some people do, I'm going to be honest with you, some people do 3 tasks at once. One task is block 0, which we just talked about right here. Boom. Right? Second task, volume, block 1. Boom. Third task is it adds a stagger buy to maybe potentially 4 or 5 wallets to come in with maybe 1 or soul. That's the only ones that come in. Those are the only ones. The only reason why they come with stagger buys is because you're voluming so much that you want to pretend that someone ate for it. Whether it be you or not, you know you're whitelisted anyway, so no one's sandwiching you. So if you stagger in with 1 buy after these volumes are coming in and out, especially if the volume has sell points that are automated and not manual. And this is what we're going to go over now: how to find a bundler that has automatic sell points, because that's going to be the real win for you, rather than having to do 100, which again does work, but I've seen the guys that are on this other particular bundler way more because the automated sell points are showing up more human than others. You see what I'm saying?
okay.
So,
I see.
now that we talked about that, let's go over into these bundlers. I do want to discuss, before I talk about that, a little pre-production that's very important to talk about before we even get into actually bundling. So let me just do this. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and then we can talk about that because it's very important as well. So the second thing, we need to talk about the proper funding of the pre-production of the wallets before they even hit the charts. So first of all, are you familiar, before I even discuss this, are you familiar on how that works, or let me just take you back to square one?
We're funding it. Yeah, just go over it if you don't mind.
Okay, perfect. So I just had a conversation with a gentleman who again had like 250,000 market cap project, and their funding was done with a DEX or CEX, and unfortunately, that's a good thing and a bad thing. The reason why it's a good thing and a bad thing is because this particular person used every single wallet, and he funded it a CEX, DX with every single wallet. And unfortunately, this is what happens. Let me show you the reality when you do that, even if it's a real play. Let me go to Axiom, for example. Or actually, no. Fuck it. We'll look at the project that we just looked at. This is his project. So fuck it. Even though I'm not really talking about
So the wallets are connected, basically.
Yeah, all his shit's connected. It's live right now. It's live. It's at 250,000 market cap. But this is what happened in his particular case. His case, there was a situation where he wanted a investor to buy into the contract. The investor bought, but he bought from probably what it looks like to be a bundler of its own, and he fucked up the whole fucking project by like, not, he didn't fully do it, but it was this one and this one. This one's the dev, the orange one is the investor. Now I told him, I said to him, I said, and next time, because I walked him through on how to fix this, and we can talk about that some other time. It's a whole other ballgame on how to fix live shit, but I told him next time what you should do is buy with a dev wallet and simply send the amount that he wants to invest in to that particular wallet from the dev. That way you're not getting like 90 fucking bubbles. Even if he did want to do like, 10 wallets, you can send from the dev to those 10 wallets as long as, here's the big part, as long as that wallet does not, I repeat, does not and has never had soul in it. A new wallet that has no soul and has no funding source to it cannot be connected on bubble maps whatsoever. So if you send money from a dev wallet to a random new wallet and doesn't have DEX, it literally will appear like these guys up here, like these small little guys. And until you're ready to sell, then you put the salon in and then you sell, because at that point it's too late. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Neither here or there. What I really wanted to show you in regards to it is the CEX and DX as far as how that could be a bad thing for you. So right now on the right side right here, you're going to see these two things as CEX and DX. Watch what happens when I push CEX, right? Bam. So all of them get connected because everyone's centralized. Now if I do DEX, boom. So imagine all these wallets right here that are not CXDX. I mean, you really want to have that. You really don't want to be attached to anything unless you're a dev. The only reason, and this is the chess part of it, okay? The only reason someone wants to launch from a DEX specific or CEX specifically is because it's KYC, and that KYC makes it look bullish for a dev wallet only, not all the wallets, dev. And the reason why, think about it like this: if a Binance wallet funded, like for example, the dev wallet with 2 or 3 SOL, the people that are actually trading in the market that are actually professional are saying to themselves, oh, this might be a real project because since he funded from Binance, this Binance is attached to a KYC of some actual person. They can be drugging me, or at least it's a right step in the right direction. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do your dev fundings, it's best that you fund them with a Binance account. Now I'm going to walk you through it because I know that you just told me early in the beginning that Pumpkit does not. Pumpkit does not have the options to fund through a Binance, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. Okay, because
if I can ask, do I have to use Binance or can I use like Coinbase, for example?
You don't even have to use either or. To be honest with you, you can like if you use Coinbase or if you use Binance. Yes, that's the original way to go. But some people like myself, I'll be honest with you. Like for one, Binance, like I don't think I even I'm in the US, so I can't even get Binance. I can only get Binance US, and that's shitty.
I'm in the UK. You can't get Binance no more.
Right, so you can't get Binance. And then with Coinbase, whatever. I don't know. To be honest with you, I did something stupid when I was like 12, 13, and they banned me when I was 13 years old, like 20 years ago. Like, I swear, I can't remember, but. It was before Bunlding, before NFTs. I did something when they started. I think I remember. I charged back. Charged back.
Oh, okay.
I think then they banned my account and they were like, "Fuck you. You can never be a fucking person again." But that's a whole other situation. But what if you were like me and you don't have the options for KYC, you don't have Coinbase, you don't have Binance? So I'm gonna show you what you can do. You can go use for a program such as Vortex Deployer. You don't have to pay any fees besides I think 1.1%. For example. So, for example, if I create a dev wallet, this is again the sauce on just specifically the dev wallet because all these pre-production things matter when it comes to deploying. You can use Pumpkit, you can use Vortex, you can use any bundler in the world, but if you don't do the pre-production things beforehand, no matter which one you use, they're all going to look at you like you got a skill issue because you don't know these like behind the scenes things that I'm teaching you right now, right? So these are one of the things. When it comes to the dev wallet, for example, if I go ahead and go to, say, for example, dev, and I fund that one, whatever, instead of funding it regularly, I go here and I go to fund. Instead of doing Vortex Disperse, I go to Mixer. Again, this is the only bundler that I know in the game that has this, and you can use it basically for free, which is, I would take advantage of it far. So you choose the dev wallet you want, you choose the amount that you want to fund, you hit next, and then you hit continue. What's going to do is going to find you exchanges, which are actually CEX exchanges. So you actually program the APIs of them. You go down here to Binance. As you can see, it's only going to take 1.64% of that 1 SOL. So boom, you go ahead and hit create mix, and then you send the Solana to this deposit amount. It literally will take that 1 SOL and it'll send it to the dev wallet 0.97, but it's coming from Binance still. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, I see.
Secrets, man, low-key secrets. So what happens here now is you have a dev wallet. Not only dev, what I would do too is, just to be honest with you, how people are printing consistently is doing a pre-production day, which means that you go in here, maybe let's create 50 dev wallets because we want to use up to, not for the day, but 50 wallets to use throughout a total of our time period of whenever we bundle. So no matter what day we're working with, whether it be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day we have like 25 to 50 dev wallets that already are pre-Binance funded. You see what I'm saying? These are soldiers that are waiting to rock and roll. So what happens is when traders, when they ape into something, they say, oh shit, this Binance wallet, which is funded a day ago or 2 days ago, and they just launched. This is even more reason for buyers to come into a project because you didn't fund the wallet 5 seconds ago. You see what I'm saying? So, boom.
Yeah.
Funder wallet. This is only to Binance. These Binance funds are KYC, but they're not you. There's someone else who's gonna put his own neck on the line. Who cares? Fuck, he doesn't care. So why should we? So boom. Now you got like Binance funds that are KYC-able to his account, but not you, and you let it stick there for a day. The reason why you let it sit for a day is because 9 times out of 10, On Axiom specifically, you're going to find out that you have these leafs. These leafs that are attached to these wallets are considered new wallets, and they represent essentially a wallet that's been funded within the last 24 hours. So as long as you fund these wallets and then you wait more than 24 hours, you'll never see a leaf ever again on your project. And that's another way to essentially season these things to make them look real, even from a dev perspective. Now, I'm going to give it a little bit farther for you, a little bit further into it, and then we'll get into launching, because this stuff is, again, very important. You do these prior to actually doing any deploys, or else you're fucked. And I'm going to show you why. So let's take, for example, a random project currently right now on Pump Fund, right? So we're going to take this project here, and we're going to go ahead and just go to a random one. Let's refresh this page here.
Just to ask real quick, what you just showed me, that's what that's what I got to do to make sure I avoid bubble maps. Is that all I got to do, basically?
Yeah, so this is what you're going to do to make sure that you avoid bubble maps, but specifically I was just talking about the dev wallet, because the dev wallet funding source needs to be different than the other ones, just due to the fact that, as you saw there, if all of those wallets were funded with Binance, you would have a big-ass cluster regardless of who it is. The idea is we want to have one Binance cluster and the other one's not traceable whatsoever, you know?
Okay.
But let's go here. Let's take this one here that just is popping off. It literally started, I guess, 3 minutes ago. I guess it's a live project.
Is there 6.2%? Dude, fucking just let it.
Somebody just is going live right now. So this is what we do, or this is what professionals do. They go to the particular contract and they see if there's other coins here. 9 times out of 10, most of these guys are coming in the Bunlding world. What they're doing wrong after they even after they actually have a good project, if it's actually not on bubble maps per se. What the problem happens is they'll come here and like this, boom. This is a good example. If you see coins, like if you see top 10 holders and they're not holding anything else besides that coin, that's a red flag. For sure. And what we call this is called warming up the wallet. So in PumpKit, they actually have this feature to warm up this wallet. So let's go to PumpKit real quick.
So we paid Dex, got that shit done early as.
All right. So let me go into this real quick. All right. So once we've actually done these CEX, fund the dev separately, right? We go into PumpKey here. We can actually click on the fund wallet source here, I believe. Here, actually, the first thing we select the wallet you want. So, if it's these wallets, then fine. Then, pardon me, you want to go down, and we want to warm up these wallets. So to warm up the wallets, you click on this wallet manager here. And on the right side, you have this warm up feature. So you click on warm up. And then from that point on, you hit on this plus icon here. And what it's doing is says you can select all, which we could have a max of 10. So we'll just do, boom, boom, boom. Right now, I don't have any soul on them, so I can't select them. But if they did have soul, I'd be able to select them and I hit next. Now, what it's going to do, it's going to literally go into pump.fund and it's going to start trading tokens. But very, very small amounts. So that way, when people like myself or persons are looking to buy heavy or ape in there and they click on this right here, they notice, see, this is bad. And this is something, now that I've shown this to you, even if you decide to go back into trading, you're probably going to think to yourself, second, when you think of this.
Nah, I'm not going back to trade. I wasn't even trading, man. I was more gambling, I'll say, innit?
Oh, okay, yeah.
After watching your videos on YouTube, I'm not going back. No way.
Yeah, definitely gambling. But the thing about it, though, is, to me personally, I had to find all this stuff out the hard way. I had to find out by not just trading, but literally sitting there and understanding the market and why things work and why they work, so I could be able to teach it. And this right here is just that. What you're seeing, this is literally a warmed up wallet. You have a situation where 3 things would really help you. And when it comes to quote unquote bundling, this is where money comes more important. Not the fact that they're going to use it, but the fact that you're flaunting it. Imagine this. Imagine if you had 20 wallets. Each wallet has about 4 to 5 soul each. You're not going to fire off any of them. All you're doing is setting up a soul balance to be in them. You want the main token, of course, that's going to be in them because, of course, it bought it. And then you want all these other random warm-ups to be there. This essentially makes you untraceable fully from a bubble map perspective to even not even when you look at a person and they have no balance, like 0.01, 0.02, like that's enough transaction fees, right? And then they just have the main token, no other tokens in it whatsoever. And there's 20 holders that all the same thing. That's a redflag.com. You don't even need Axiom for that to be a red flag. Like Axiom, first of all, Axiom can't even show you that shit. That's a human thing to only see. But it only takes 2 seconds for you to click a couple of them on the top 10, the top 20 to see, that the main if they're not showing more tokens, that these possibly are not real traders. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what happens for a lot of the times when you have these guys getting extra big bids? We talked about the mechanism as far as how the P&L cards are reading, so you understand that. But as far as the actual bid process, beyond the fact that the bubble maps are not being traced, we have wallets that have well, first of all, I'll tell you this: the dev wallet for sure has at least $300 of funds in there. You never have to touch it whatsoever, though. The only reason why you have $300 and plus, and this is like a under the what's called the table trick, is because theoretically, mentally, people are thinking the dev needs to pay DEX. If the dev is in the project still and he has less than $300 of funds, they're thinking A, he's broke, B, he's gonna rug, or C, he's depending on creator fees, which is all bearish, right? So by having these rules in your system here, by saying, okay, I'm literally at this point not trading, I'm literally a marketing machine. I'm a business at this point, right? So if you're a business, then consider the extra 2-3 SOL that's located in the dev wallet like insurance fee. Even though they're not using it, the people see it as insurance, right? Same thing with all the other top 20 wallets. Now, when you were another thing I see with mistakes when it comes to specifically bundling is people come in taking up the most, and the problem is you got Padre and Axiom now dominating these trading platforms. Let me give you an understanding of what's going on here, because back in the day we would be able to do easy like 20 buys, 20 souls, every wallet holding 4%. It didn't fucking matter. People were buying. And the reason why it didn't matter is because people didn't have these tools. Like the only tool around early 2024, post 2025 was fucking Phantom and Photon, and Inside X wasn't even around. Bullets was barely getting started. Now these companies are growing multi-billions of dollars, have things like you're seeing right now: top 10, dev holding, snipers holding, inside percentage, bundle holding, bundle liquid, fresh buys, fresh holding buys. Like, come on now. You mean to tell me that if you bundle with your wallet, think about this: if everything that I told you today you did perfectly, your bubble maps was clean, you had like multiple wallets that had, let's say, 2 SOL each of them, you even went ahead and warmed your wallet up, right? But the only thing you didn't do is wait time 24 hours. All of a sudden, you buy your contracts, you got 20 freaking this thing sticking out like a fresh pair of thumbs. Right here's just fresh buys. 20 buys come in, boom, fresh. That looks bearish as fuck. And not only does it look bearish as fuck to an actual human being, but to actual sniping trading bots that are on AFK, which you want to attract those bids too. That's free money, right? They're not gonna want to buy that. They're on acronym. They're literally at this point in the game on timing in details, from volumes to ratios to fresh buy ratios to holders. So if you're not doing the proper pre-production, that's why I wanted to sit down with you and break this whole pre-production first before we even jump into bundling. Because if you don't even do this, you're damning yourself before you even jump in the game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, no, that's
so now
man.
We could talk about the bundler. We can get into bundling now, that we kind of have now a full-on understanding, at least, as far as one, real investment strategies and why P&L cards look the way they look, so that way you're not fooled by putting your own soul in there and being like, bamboozled. You're literally running a machine, volume bot machine. Now let's talk about how to do this. So I want to take you to a few bundlers. Pumpkit was one of them. The second one I'll take you to is, just to have your options, right, is going to be here this one, Auron. So Auron, it does things a lot differently when it comes to volume than any other bundler. I personally think, I don't know for certain, but I personally think that it may have something to do with just how well people can cook when it comes to programming. Because I don't understand. We're in the age of AI. I mean, things are so easy to fucking find an LLM software to find. I don't know why people are taking this much time. But let me show you what's going to happen. If I go to volume bot here, actually, let's do this. We'll do 2 volume bots. We'll do a volume bot on Aaron, and then we'll do another volume bot here on Vortex. We'll even go in. I'll even open a Pumpkin in a second, but I'll use that last. But for now, I'll just use both of these. And then from now, what we'll do is we'll go to projects. We'll go to a project that is, let's say, pending. And I'll open up the task set so that way you can see like how the volume works. So this says volume right here. You see that says volume? So
yeah, I'm trying to zoom in. Right, 1 second.
Okay, cool. So basically you have 2 things, right? You have volume. Now, as you can see here, there's buy range. You can set your buy range up, and you can set your delays, right? And they do have things where you can set up your supply guard, right? Where, let's say, for example, if wallets on the outside started to come in, it would essentially stop the buy because it's trying to prevent you from being front ran. But in reality, if you're running volume, you want to buy as much as, you want to sell just as fast as you buy because you're just basically providing volume to the contract. Now, most of these volume bots have this in common, which is just buys. So which means that if I set this thing up right now and I have sold in the wallets, I would have the green candle will go up, but it would be up to me personally to actually hit that sell, actually hit this 100. You see what I'm saying? Like I was showing you beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I go to Aron, their volume is a little different. As you can see here, we have now a bot simulation and buy and sell. See here, sell and buy. So which means that I can set up the calculations to not only buy from 0.25 to 0.75, but now there can be a random interval for sale that I don't even have to manually do, which is going to come off what more human-like. And not only more human-like, but let's also talk about some of the things that you may not even be aware of that I need to tell you now to help you out in your journey when it comes to bringing in bids. A lot of times, Axiom, Padre, Neobulix, Photon, all these different platforms, Trojan, they have certain priority fees that they globally set their system up for, which means that everyone is paying a specific global fee percentage for that particular base. For example, Bulix users might be paying 0.0005, Axiom users might be paying 0.004. It's just a specific fee base, global fee base, right? Now, if you're using a bundler and you're trying to simulate volume that's coming from these particular platforms, it's almost impossible if that particular bundler is only using a general fee for all wallets, right? Because you're setting a priority fee set up for all wallets, not for individual. You see, because the game has became to the point where they're literally getting to the nitty gritty of all these energies just so they can make profit because all the rugs started happening. So then when you come into situations such as this, where you can do simulate trading bots, and what it is activates a mode that simulates fees of other bots. So now what happens is the wallet's not only coming and buying an inning, but you don't got to worry about the priority fees. This one has 0.003, this one has 0.004. All these things are in the background, bringing in like almost like you're cutting yourself in a water with blood with sharks. That's basically what it's doing, and it makes you far separate than everybody else because you're coming in with priority fees that are different. And your whole job as a bundler is to fit in and be multiple people, not the same person, right? And boom.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Right? So then you have that. So once it happens is you come in, we just talked about how that whole block 0 happens with the first thing here. We connect here. We talked how the block 0 happens. So now in this block 0, there's volumes happening with priority fees that are different. The buy and sell, yes, is different, just like any bundler. However, now we have sales that are automated too. We're not sitting there hitting 100. And that 100, by the way, we're adding in, it's got a priority fee of its own. So imagine that priority fee of 100 is 0.0001, 0.0001, 0.001. It's just on the blockchain. It's completely in red. Meanwhile, these sniper bots are looking at you like, yeah, you're the same person. You're the same person. You know what I'm saying? Literally. You know what I'm saying? Literally. Yeah. And so it's hard as time gets on, for people that are developers to continually cooking up this crazy because they know that it's just getting more PvP on PvP. So my job is why people come to me like the hub is to find all bundlers what they have to offer. And I'll send you this link too. But this one I would use for specifically for volume tasks, just because it has that thing that brings in that like honeypot for snipers, and it's not just the buy and stuff coming in, but also the priorities behind it. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, when it comes to specifically,
so this one you're saying is good for drawing in snipers. You're saying,
yeah, especially on that block 0. I'm sorry, block 1. You're coming in, you're essentially coming in and looking like a natural organic volume, like and it's coming to the point where the more wallets you have, the harder it is to determine who's who, because the sale's not always 0.5 or 0.2 because you're selling 100. It's completely different, you know? And that's what makes people be like, oh, what's this? Oh shit. Let me put 2 soul before it's too late. Boom. Next thing you know it, they put 2 soul and 3 other people that are copy trading them put 1.5. You're up 1.2 soul. You're like, fucking, my job is done. Sell all. You know? That's basically what's been happening to you when you've been gambling, really, without you realizing it.
Gambling, man. Yeah.
Now, this is the thing. What creates the gamble effect to be so effective is when you have a specific narrative and lore that outweighs the supply. Because the demand will push the market. So have you seen a situation? Actually, you know what? I can show you rather than tell you. Because these candles on Pumpkit don't really show you. Are the candles on Axiom, though, or this one, do show. So let me show you how that... It's basically like when you see a green candle wick, and it's like got a little thin bar to it, and it looks... let me show you. Hold on, if I can find one. Yeah, if I go to like a Surge, and then we'll go to 2. Probably shitcoin. Here we go. There we go. All right, here's a perfect example. You see these fucking... You see this one right here? This red coin. There's like this wick here. And it's a fat, and it's like a small thin wick. And same thing for the green ones. So what happens is, in a good narrative, fucking you come in with green, you sell. Like that'll be you. This little thin is you selling on them. Even though it's green, it's you selling on them. But because the demand's so dope, you're like 2 soul. We don't give a fuck. We want to buy this shit still. That's why products continue to grow, and we'll go to, you know, for example, if you, let's give you a good example. If you drop, let's say, a project, and let's say you were walking and I don't know, something random happened, like fucking President Trump, I guess, was in town where you're at, right? And you're meeting with somebody or something, and the next thing you know, he tripped. He did something funny and tripped or whatever. You saw it and you got it, and you're the one that posted it first. You know, posted on Pumpfund with your wallets. Everything was ready to rock and roll, and it was called Ticker Trip. If you sell for 4 soul, no one's gonna fucking care. They're gonna still eat the contract up because they know the type of the demand that would have compared to you just dropping a random fucking fuckboy coin, you know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, your fair advantage becomes right here into your block 0 because no one can snipe you this. So it's essentially providing enough volume transactions, and not only that, we'll talk about 3 things, four things. 1, volume transactions. 2, clean bubble maps. 3, history trades on each wallet transaction, and 4, each of those wallets are more than 24 hours old. All 4 of those things will essentially allow you to get bids nonstop. But the course of you doing so is you daily doing the pre-production, which is creating these things on a daily basis, because you can't continue using the same wallets over and over and over and over and over and over. They'll just get, you know, blacklisted. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
So when you use a wallet, a dev wallet, for how many what's it called? How many whatever can you use them for? How many projects can you use them for? Is it just 1, 2? Like, how does it work?
The dev's a little different though. The dev is different because some devs particularly stick with one wallet because they are a narrative particular coin. For example, justice for people who died, whether it be dogs who've died or people that died. You'll see wallets that literally are justice for. Every token that they drop is justice for. This becomes bullish to the industry because they will follow this particular wallet because they know when they drop, it's gonna be some type of justice. So, if you are a narrative type of dev, or if you're a CT dev, CT stands for crypto Twitter. So, which means that you know, you're consistently dropping projects that have narratives to do with crypto Twitter. Then yes, because that's what happens is they'll come in here, they'll go into this wallet, and then they'll start following it. You know, they'll get followers, but most time 9 times out of 10, people are not using the same dev wallet because they rather not do the work. They rather not find a trend. They rather not find a particular person, and the less work, the better. So what they'll do is, for example, they'll create a dev wallet. They'll fund it with Binance. They'll wait 24 to 48 hours, sometimes even a week, because they even expect more bullish. They'll even have 10, 20 dev wallets from the week beforehand that they funded, and they're just sitting there with 0.01 funds waiting to be used as a project, because the more longer it waits, the better, right? And then at that point, it's about, those other 2-3 wallets where we talked about. Hypothetically, you probably want to make sure that those are not newly funded too, just the 3 or 4 that come into block 0. But once that happens, you're now completely what we consider LARP. Are you familiar with LARP is?
Yeah, I think I've heard you mention it. Live action roleplay.
Yes, sir. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll basically create a verified X account, which is basically just paying Elon $9 or $5, whatever it may be, to get that blue check. But once you have that check, you theoretically at that point can use things such as Claude, Lovable.dev. I'll give you an example, actually. Some guys do this because you're trying to essentially create demand for your token. You can do that in ways of news, or you can do that in ways of potentially utility creation. So if you're into prompting, which I love prompting because it's super fucking easy to make things that people think that took a way long time. Like, for example, I made this shit like within 20 minutes last night, and this shit's a full-on fucking game. Like, it's like, watch, like, literally you can like go in here and like, it's 3D like shoot things. Hold on, what the fuck? Hold on, and here's that. There we go. So like, I literally built a full-on 3D shooter. And off of just lovable prompt. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because you can tie shit like this in LARP plays. Like, for example, PvP, the person that dies loots the private keys. You can think of anything. I mean, whether they're real or not is up to you.
Pay for this, sorry, if I can ask.
So that's $25 a month. That's it.
Okay.
So the way they're working is, and this is the sad truth about not only the future of DeFi, but the future just in general, is that people can literally make these type of projects. Like, I'll show you some more that I've created. And within a matter of seconds, like, the code does everything for them. And then all they do is go to something like, GoDaddy or something, and basically create the domain XYZ. Costs $2.99 to buy the domain name. And then boom, for $25 and $2.99, you've created, literally you can have whatever .com or .xyz or .fun or .biz or whatever maybe, right? I made this Shills R Us, like Toys R Us, and literally made this in like 3 minutes, But again, if you look at a website and you connect it to a token on a project, and then it starts to have all this symbiotic volume, which is what I basically was teaching you today, volume that looks real but it's not. People are not thinking it took you fucking 10 minutes to do. They're thinking, oh shit, this is a real project, there's a team, there's a website. But in reality, AI has made life 10 times easier. It's a matter of time until the normies figure out. This is why DeFi is where it's at now, to be honest with you. They're starting to slowly figure out, and that's why projects are starting to be less and less. The other day, one of the top traders in crypto, Orangey, was literally on live trying to push a point at 30,000 market cap. To 30,000. We're talking about this guy used to push it to 100 million back in the day. This is the state of the trenches now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so the consistency of it is, can you do 20 projects a day? Can each of these projects do 0.5 to 1 SOL to make you about 10 SOL a day? This is the reality. And some of those projects might even go ham and do 4, 5, maybe 15, 12 SOL. So now you did 20 projects. One did 12, the other did 0.3, 0.4, 5. They all up to 14. People are locking in. People are locking the fuck in and doing multi-projects. Unless you want to do another route, which is the creator fee route. The creator fee route is basically you onboarding people like devs from, or not devs, sorry, influencers like Twitch guys that are like sitting at 200 followers on the Twitch. So they have no following whatsoever, or on Instagram. I've seen some people that are very interesting that have a little following on Instagram that do lives. You can use software such as, I'll show you right now. This software called, here it is. So if you use this software here, this is the only software, that Bunlding software I know, that allows you to get access to your stream keys directly from the site. So like, for example, I launched this one last night. I can literally click on the stream credentials and I can literally name the stream and pull these off. And I can put this information in either OBS, which is what I'm usually used to record my videos, or I can put it in a software like Restream. When you do that, you can literally onboard someone. Like, for example, someone is got somewhat of a following on, let's say, X or on Instagram, right? They might have like 20,000 followers. They might be on a live every other day, doing a call, doing like a little show. They may only have 100 people, 200 people watching them. But for the fact that you could tokenize them, all you would need to do is copy this our streaming URL into Restream. That'll stream it to Pump One automatically. And then the second thing would do is get them to solidify that they are part of the project, which is simple as you contacting them and saying, hey, for $50, will you put this token, this CA address on your tweet or on your reel or whatever it may be, you know? And now you got a situation where you are not going to essentially really do the trick that you did last time, which is crazy buy sell. You will do volume to bring in people, but reality, you're really hanging on to the creator fees of that long play, because you know that guy streamer is going to be there for 8 hours streaming anyways. That's what he does for a living. All you do is tokenizing them. So now the charts can live and exist. You're creating a passage for actual traders to maybe go up to migration. Whether it be 100, 200K, it don't matter. The charge could stay at 30K or 10K for all that matters on PumpSwap. All you care about is people coming in, buying, selling, because it gives you creator fees.
Okay.
So there's multiple ways to cut a cake here. Now you have a streaming situation. He's streaming. He don't care about Pump Fund, but he's solidifying that he's a part of the project. And now you have a clean start. People buying it. You never know what happens though, because people like you and I can literally go into it and fucking bundle it. Like, happens all the time. On LinkedIn, there's all the time where a person literally is legit on a coin, pumping the 20,000, 30,000 market cap. He's live on Dev, live on Pump. Someone like us comes in with 50 wallets, literally buys the project up, and then dumps on that whole entire pump. Like, that can happen. Yeah, but the same thing is they still gotta pay transaction fees to you for creator fees. Period.
Oh, so you can pump up like other people's tokens. I never actually knew that, to be fair.
Yeah. You could pump. That's theoretically called wash trading. Let's go into that. A lot of this before we end up here. Let me give you all this alpha here. So this is theoretically illegal to do in regular trading pump in the pump world though. It's great. It's great because the fact that it's crypto.
Yeah.
But wash trading is a legal form of market manipulation where investors simultaneously or nearly simultaneously buy and sell the same financial instrument to create a false impression. That's what I was telling you about block one, about the buy, sell. But this way, you're doing it on some else's coin. The only difference is you're accumulating. So when I say accumulating, let me give you an example of how that works. Let me go to PumpKit again. Actually, let's go to PumpKit. We'll find someone accumulating there. And okay, so let's go to like a random project that's sending on the oh, here, this one. This is the let's go to Fuck Ice. Yeah. So let's go to traders, and we're gonna go to right here. So once you see accumulations, so this guy just left for 2 SOL. So if this is at right now, this is at 125, but if it was at like 25, if someone leaves for 2 SOL, you come in for 1.5. Whenever they leave with something, you come in with something. So you're accumulating that floor up, and and essentially over time, even if it takes like 2-3 hours, if you accumulating that floor, it doesn't show up a spike green, and then when someone does come in and ape in it, you have like 20-30 SOL of the floor, and they just literally position you to fucking have 4 SOL quickly. That's accumulation wash trading. And theoretically, what happens is 50 wallet. This is what PumpKit, I believe, is best used for me personally. I do that. I use this when I use PumpKit. I only use it for wash trading because you can have 50 wallets.
That's fucking clever.
Yeah, it's wash trading. Yeah, like honestly, I did a project where recently it was this one was fucked up, man. Let me tell you about this. So there is this project called. It might be on Pump still. At 1 million, but it was dying when I got involved. I got involved. I pushed that shit to fucking 12 million, and then never been the same. That community's never been the same since. I swear. Let me go to it. Let me see here. What the fuck? Hold on. I did a. Fuck,
You could literally buy up the whole floor, and then maybe someone could ape in like eight.
yeah,
like, I don't know, like
absolutely.
8 SOL, for example, and then you can dump on them.
Oh, I remember.
Oh,
It's
shit.
sb.fun. I kind of remember the website was so fucking simple to go to. All right, Snowball. So check this shit out. So I wash traded this shit, and this community hasn't trusted the dev ever since. Like, let me show you this shit, bro. And it's bullish too because it has still millions in it, but it did numbers. But because what I did to it with Pumpkit, they ain't fucking trusting them to push that shit ever again, unless it's over time, which is probably gonna happen. Like right now, it's over time gonna get there. You see how this? You see this big ass gap? Remember I was teaching you about that shit, that candle, that shit right there. Yeah, that was me. So let me show you what happened. So basically, this shit spiked to fucking 12 million. So what happened is I accumulated right here at 3. I was accumulating all night, yo. I was seeing the fact that they already did a fucking 10 billion high. And it was only a matter of time to go higher because it was just consolidating here. So once it was consolidating here in Pumpkit, I literally came in. I had 90 SOL. I literally every time someone's selling, I would just accumulate that sell, accumulate. I wasn't losing really anything because fucking, as you see, there's so much money in the contract. It never like there's so much money that that dipped down. It was just all here 3 3 2 3 2 3 2 3, right? So while I was accumulating, nobody knew a person was putting 90 SOL in. Think about it. Like anybody that highly puts the 90 SOL one time, all they're going to do is exit liquidity them or someone else is going to be like, what's this? And just try to ape into it. That's why you get these big ass green candles and shit, right? But if you're accumulating with other wallets on other people's sales, then as soon as somebody gets froggy and does something, which is what also would happen here. I was accumulating here. I'm going to tell you the story what happened here and why it got there. But as soon as it got to 12, I just sold all these motherfuckers. 100 SOL, bro. It was at 3. I just sold 100 SOL on top of their asses, and I didn't do it once. By the way, when I Pumpkit, I literally used let me go back here. I used what's it called, intervals. So you go to settings and you go to random intervals. I used 8 to 9 second intervals, and what it meant is 90 SOL. It took 10 seconds for one wallet to sell. So imagine the charts are going to 12 million, right? And people aping in, right? They're like, oh shit, this fucking aping in. Every one of my 50 wallets was leaving out every 10 seconds, which means that a huge chunk was being taken, but they were aping in more, thinking that it was an entry point. It took like 50 times 10 seconds. It took like damn near 4 minutes for all my wallets to get out. By that time it happened, it was like, let's go back to the charts. Where we at? Wait, no, shit. Yeah, no, that's just shitcoin. Snowball. Here we go. By the time that happened, it already cascaded down to right here, 2.3 million. Like this is why these days here are just nothing but red, because people don't trust the project, and they started to still do it. They're like, oh no, we don't trust it more. They still don't trust it. They still don't trust it because who goes from 12 million to back to 3 in a matter of like hour? You know. They think that's the team, and that's why I'm saying, like, in your projects, even if you deploy something, anybody can theoretically CTO it, come in with 50 wallets, and do exactly how I taught you in the beginning, but on your project, and get away with it. And then they blame you, and that's 9 times out of 10 why people don't use the same dev wallet over and over, because not like they actually rugged you. They might have had a situation where someone else rugged you, but it was not their fault, and this is where that came into play. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Fucking hell.
But there's always more disadvantages coming off from a wash trade perspective. The advantages you do get is you get to ride their volume, their coattail. Everything's been done. Dex is paid for. They got community there. Everything's fucking done. You just gotta fucking basically wash trade and wait for sales to come out. So that way you're not providing any greens. You're providing power to the sales. So everything you're seeing on the sales chart here, like here, whenever you see a red candle and it's got a thin line, that means there's buy pressure though. So even though it was the predominantly sell, someone is slowly buying the price. Now hypothetically, usually that's just traders. But if it's a one person with a lot of SOL, like 100 SOL with 50 wallets, that's a dangerous situation. As you can see, because once someone apes in, you never know. They're just going to start selling, and then That's why these market caps from 2 to 7 million never go past 10 anymore, because all these bundler companies are way more accessible, and they have more people are literally doing what I'm teaching you right now. It's just now you're a trader and you're understanding the mechanics of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hopefully that wasn't too much information, brother.
No, it was a lot, but I kind of get it. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I just want to give you an idea on how to use that bundler, not only from the deploy standpoint, but also from a CTL standpoint too, when it comes to either wash trading or, you don't necessarily have to, buy into the coin. Because again, from the very front, all this stuff right here in the beginning, all they're doing is the same tactic, which is buying in from the bundle 0, boom, start that volume bot immediately. Even if they're doing 100, they're coming in with stagger buys though. Their stagger buys are coming in with probably maybe 9 more wallets holding 1 soul, but that's going to be a course of probably 5 to 10 minutes. They don't really care about those buys. If those buys come in, great. They want those bids to come in the beginning, because if they come in the beginning, it lets them know if they can either dump all real quick and start a new project, or if they can simply continue adding that floor up. That becomes a mathematical game.
This is why you don't trade, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Traders, the only real advantage of a trader is to be alpha, meaning that a particular person or a particular group or thing. Like, for example, if
insiders,
you're alpha,
no.
yeah, because you're not really doing too much. You're just oh, he's telling me to buy this time, I'm gonna buy it. Like the person who did the White Whale project, is at 102 million. I'm pretty sure.
I've seen that. Yeah.
If you see the beginning, it didn't start that way. It was 10 days of just nothingness. That's called 10 days of straight alpha. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fucking let this day die down. Let all these fucking people who think this is nothing get out. Meanwhile, we're gonna hold the floor down at fucking DEX 20,000, 10,000. Go fucking look at the you look at the charts, dude. It looks so fucking organic. It's crazy. It's like a perfect alpha play. They didn't rush the shit out of that. Look at this right there.
That's incredible, man.
All these times. That's from the 13th. That's a month. A month of alpha saying, get in. We about to send this shit. This isn't a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? This is literally a play. We're not going to do like most people and jump in alpha in the beginning, because we're going to get sniped out, and then we're going to have problems like this early, So we're going to have a whole month. You get in, get out. When we give you the green light, don't worry about it. Just hold. You know what I'm saying?
That's unbelievable, no? How much money do you reckon the dev here potentially has made, or cashed out, or whatever, if he is cashing out slowly?
I mean, shit. The top holder is holding 5 million right now. So to be honest with you, these plays, I consider to be right now in a market we're at right now. To be honest with you, be very, very dangerous, because I'm not sure if you've seen recently, but there was a similar play that just happened a few days ago that went to 45 million. It was a Japanese token, and that same day it dropped down to 3 million.
I think I might know.
It was call it 1 2 3 4 2 some shit. I forget what the fuck. It was gold. Everybody was doing vamps of the same thing. It was a gold type of face of an Asian guy. I don't know. Forgot what the fucking shit was called, but it was at 47 million literally 2 days ago, and then people woke up and it was at 3 million. So that type of token and that type of market cap, it requires you to put in a lot more money, like 5, 10K, in order to really make substantial gains over a course of a period of time. If you're trusting that much of profit in something that new, it's easy for someone to rug a lot harder than they do on pump or right off of DEX, So that's why these plays, when it comes to the white whale, it's valuable to have a good month of nothingness, because literally that shows time is gonna kill anything when it comes to trading, or when it comes to alpha in general. But if you want to be consistent at bundling and profiting, it's literally creating a volume honeypot. It's basically what we taught you today, with numeric information of things such as timing of when to deploy 24 hours, or to bubble maps, to having a little soul in there, to warming up. All these small things add up to consistency of profit,
if done on a scale of 15, 20, 30 times a day if you lock in. But the market gets better, you'll do less. But at that time period, we don't know what the PvP is going to happen. What's going to happen on Inside X? What's going to happen on Padre? But right now, that's the game.
Fuck me. So do you reckon I should use that other one you're saying instead of Pumpkit? What's it called? Onion, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, yeah. I honestly, I think this is a good play to have. Pumpkit is good to use for wash trading. Like I said, I've been telling people from day one. I use it for wash trading always because the way it has with intervals. Like for example, how you can sell, for example, 50 wallets, but create those 8 to 9 second intervals. You can't do that with any other bundler. So all of them have fair advantages. Some of them are more fair advantages to CT news plays. I just think personally that Pumpkit works well for wash trading because the fact that if it takes me 5 minutes to sell all 50 wallets and I'm already like 60% up, the 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be actually coming out with 90% profit because the fact that people are aping into my buys from that 5 minute play out. You see what I'm saying? And I don't got to sit there manually like timing with my watch, like, all right, 2 minutes out, 2 out. It's just the simplicity of that. So that's what makes me look at Pumpkit for wash more than other things of nature. But yes, Oron is good because it has the volume situation set up where no others have. It also has the ability to have stream credentials too, which I'm pretty sure Pumpkit is also working on, but it's like a niche thing. Like some devs only niche off of stream. Like they'll literally stream, they have good voices, they can talk to people really well. They don't really sing, but people trust their voice more, so people ape into it, and that's their bread and butter. So it just depends on your strategic strategy, but at least this offers you to have all in one compared to the others. Now, the mixing of things as far as the other wallets, personally, I use Pumpkit, Hard Dispense. If you can use that as well, so you can use both of them to do one. One obviously will do pre-production. The other one will do the actual production. I haven't done any testing when it comes to the mixing on Aura yet, but I personally, like just cause I know we're almost over the hour here, but what I personally usually do is I have a RPC node. An RPC node, it gives me the ability to have all these tools available basically to my desktop. I don't have to go need the website. I just personally do not like having my Solana on a website, even though there's security, there's encryptions. I just think that anything can be decrypted if done properly, and so for my own personal feelings or personal things, I prefer to use a standalone bundler, which is Frog with tools, and I'll use currently at the moment.
I got Frog with tools.
Yep, Frog. It's standalone. I have a peace of mind. Everything has advantages and disadvantages, but I have a peace of mind knowing that my private keys are safe. And that's one. And then also the disadvantages though is that I know that at the moment I believe Frog with tools. Let me just look at my Discord real quick. But from the last time I spoke to him, he's still trying to fix the bubble maps. Let me just double check. Yo, new build just patches safe mode users who use 15 plus wallets. Okay, and not a bubble map. Okay, so from my understanding, the bubble maps has not been patched for Frog with tools yet. It's still not working. So I use personally this bundle called Lunar. Sorry, LUNR. It's another standalone bundler that basically has a funder, and it basically sends money straight to these wallets without any bubble map tracing.
You need a node for it.
Yeah, I have a node. I have sauce node. I also rent nodes. So if you need nodes, I can rent one out for you too. But I have a sauce node that I bought back in the day with the NFTs, and I just pay basically $100 a month to continue that with this particular dev that has these nodes, and use that. But
Sorry, just sorry to cut you off. To use Luna, do I need to use a node or no?
Yeah, so you do need to use a node. However, I believe they are going to start a web bundler soon. But my whole theory is to try to have everything on my local computer for me personally. So I use Frogwith and Lunar at the moment for launches. For wash trading though, I'm always using Pumpkit, just because nothing beats the interval selling. No one has that, and I think that's super niche. That's why I use that. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fucking hell.
Bada
It's an
bing,
interesting
bada
trip,
boom.
man. It's a lot to take in as a newbie, man. But
Man,
yeah,
I
man,
got
it's
you. What I'm gonna
fucking
do is I'm gonna send you the
interesting, innit?
video though, so that way you have this video to last for you forever, and you can just rewind
Yeah,
and go back
let
on
me
it.
let me just ask real quick as well, because I'll probably do another one-to-one with you. Can
Yeah.
we maybe do a launch together at some point?
Absolutely. I love doing launches with my students, man. So all I'll do is I'll shoot you my calendar and my wallet, and it's just one soul, and yeah, we could just plan it up again.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's gonna be fun. Like I said, we want to make sure that the pre-production is done first, so that way you're good to go. Then from the posting, I mean, from the actual launching process is another thing. And then beyond the actual pre-production of the wallets, we haven't even really got into like metas, as far as niches, as far as are you doing community coins, are you doing LARPs, are you doing CTO, like what type of situation? We'll go into that in our next call.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, Sarsky. All right, brother, I'll talk to you soon. All right, I'll send you that information after
Yeah,
this
you will
call.
too, man.
God bless you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And you, my bro. Bless.
Bless.